Hi everyone, welcome back. So in today's video we'll be discussing about bus body styles or bus body details, but prior to that I would like to discuss about different design parameters, means how the bus bodies should be designed. If as an engineer I have to design a bus body, then which are the different parameters those I need to consider. So obviously the first important parameter that every designer has to consider is its application, means whether bus is designed for short distances or short journey, or whether bus is designed for long distances journey. And then next point comes is passenger capacity. So how many passenger my bus should be accommodated, that is again very important, and accordingly different parameters, or accordingly you should be able to finalize these dimensions. Maybe this dimension, maybe overall length of the body or overall dimensions of a bus. And the second parameter is type of chassis. There are several types of chassis that we'll be discussing in next video, but here I meant to say whether I have to use light duty chassis or heavy duty chassis. So for example, if I am designing a passenger or I am designing a bus which is capacity is 26 passengers. So 26 passenger is a less capacity. So for that I will use light duty chassis. And then layout. So layout again an important parameters. Here you can say this is a bus body layout. There are several types of layouts. This is based on where the engine is mounted and where the drive is given. So there are basically 4 types of layouts. Those are commonly used. So here in bus body layouts we will be having the engine which is mostly mounted on this front side, and the drive is given to the rear wheels. In some cases or in some buses you will find the engine is mounted here on the rear side. So we'll discuss this in the next part. And then type of suspensions. Type of suspensions, same, whether you have used soft and comfortable suspension or whether bus should use hard suspension. So obviously when we move towards the comfortability, then definitely the cost, manufacturing cost of this bus will increase, and this cost will be bear by the passengers while traveling, maybe for short distances or long distances. So we have to think that which is the application, whether the bus is used for the short distances. If it is used for the short distances, then definitely we need not to go for soft and comfortable suspension, because this will increase manufacturing cost of bus, and that expenses will be bear by the passengers itself. So we may go for, in that case we may go for hard suspension. And if the bus is used for the long distance journey, then obviously we may consider these parameters, soft and comfortable suspension. And then type of seating. This is again similar way or similar fashion you can design type of seating. Same, there you will be having a soft and comfortable seating, and here again you will be having hard seating, right? Obviously same way here, if you are going for soft and comfortable, then definitely the bus should be for long distance journey. Then you can consider these parameters. Hard, if you are designing a bus which will be running in the city area, local areas, then you may go for hard seating. Then entry platform. This parameter is again very important, entry platform. As you can see here, this entry platform is again depends on, or design of this entry platform is again depends on the application, where for what application the bus is designed. For example, if you are designing a bus for the city area where the passengers are literally rushing into the bus, whereas while leaving the bus also you will find a crowd over there. So in those cases you may design this entry platform or wide entry platform. In that case it is required. But you may consider second side. If you are designing a bus from long distance journey, then obviously you should not go for this wide entry platform, because rarely people are getting into the bus and leaving the bus. And next is number of doors used. Same way, if I have designed a bus which is running in the local area or city area, then obviously I should use 2 doors, because as I said, the people are literally rushing into the bus. So for entry it should be a separate door, and for exit, those passengers leaving the bus, for them the door should be separate. That only you will facilitate a easy entry and exit of the passengers. Now we'll be having next parameter, which is standing space. Same standing space means the distance between these 2 rows of seats. So this can be called as standing space. So in case of the buses, those are designed for city areas, we should have a long standing space, or this distance should be larger if you compare the buses those are designed for long distance journey. In case of long distance journey, it is not expected that the passenger should be standing here in this space. So instead of, in long distance journey buses, you may add extra row of these seats. This may facilitate or ensures the proper and comfortability of those passengers for long distance journey. And now luggage space. Same, luggage space is basically provided, maybe the racks are provided here, maybe the racks are provided here, or second, in some luxury buses the racks may be provided, and this portion, in some cases the racks will be provided here also. So these racks are, or this luggage space is required only for long distance journey, or the luggage is only there in long distance journey passengers. So for city buses, basically this luggage space is not provided, and accordingly we can design the bus. And then entertainment accessories. This is again required only if you are designing the buses for long distances, and for comfortability maybe you will find some MP3 players, televisions, maybe some air conditioning systems, etc. So these accessories are required for long distance journey buses. So now we'll move toward different styles of buses, but prior to that we'll discuss different categories of buses and passenger capacity, how many passengers those buses will accommodate. So the first is minibus. This is actually a small bus which is designed to run for the short or medium distances, and the maximum passenger capacity is varies from 15 to 26. Means the bus may be designed for 15 passengers, it may be designed for 26 passengers. Then the second category is small coaches for long distances. See, long distance means a considerable distance. For example, the buses those are joining or those are running from Mumbai to Nagpur. This is a long distance. So these types of buses, but the coaches are small, means those are only accommodating 16 to 30 passengers, means the passenger capacity is little bit high if you compared with the minibus. Then the third category, small buses for towns. The buses those are joining for towns, those can be called as this third category, and which will accommodate up to 40 passengers. Means the buses those are joining, or those are running in between Mumbai to Pune. This is a medium distance journey. Means the buses those are joining Mumbai and Pune, or the running in between Mumbai and Pune. These two are towns or cities. So these buses connects towns or connect cities. Those are of considerable distance. So if the distance is more than that, then that we can call as long distance. So this is also a considerable distance. Then medium coaches for long distance. See the size of, see these are the small coaches, whereas these are the medium coaches. So the passenger capacity is 31 to 45. Means the size of this coach is increased, means overall dimension is increased. Then medium buses for towns. Medium buses, or you can say medium buses, those connects towns and those are of a medium distance. The passenger capacity is increased it can accommodate a passengers from 41 to 60. Then large coaches for long distance, passenger capacity is increased. Large coaches for long distances. So 46 to 60, minimum 46 and maximum 60 passenger this bus can accommodate. Then large buses for towns, for medium distance rather you can say, 61 to 80. And there are one type of buses, those can accommodate passenger even more than 80. We have basically seen the buses, those will accommodate 46 to 60 passengers and sometimes 61 to 80 passengers even. But we might have not seen these articulated buses. So these articulated buses will be having the passenger capacity which is greater than 80, maybe 90 or 100 passengers. Now we will discuss this bus body details or bus body styles one by one. So we will start with the minibus. As we have already discussed, the minibus is especially designed to accommodate the passenger till 26, and normally as the passenger carrying capacity is less, it is built on light duty chassis, and we know that as I have used a light duty chassis, the cost of manufacture is reduced, and as the cost of manufacturing is reduced, obviously the passengers needs to pay less amount. And front mounted engine, we have discussed this is a layout. Basically in these types of buses, the engine is mounted on the front side and the drive is given on the rear, or rear wheels are driven, whereas the front wheels are freely rotating. So these types of layout this minibus has used. And soft and comfortable suspension, we have discussed minibus is especially used for traveling for small distances as well as for medium distances, and for that reason soft and comfortable suspensions are used. And reasonable comfortable seating, so it is not a hard sitting, the seats are a little bit comfortable, reasonably comfortable. And fairly small entry platform. See, the number of passengers are less, so obviously fairly small entry platforms are more enough. And these are a few examples. You can see this bus, these are the minibuses manufactured by the Force Motors. This is a tempo traveler, this that we might have heard about. So now we'll move towards the second type, town bus or city bus. The bus which is running in a town or running in a city can be called as town bus or city bus. See, such buses are used for short distances journey up to 30 kilometers. So in city, if the buses are running for only 30 kilometers, then we can call those buses as a town bus or city bus. We have discussed this, a large standing space and relatively hard sitting, because the passengers simply come inside for maybe for 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers and they leave the bus. So basically hard sitting is more enough, so we need not to invest a lots of money in manufacturing. So a large standing space is required because passengers are continuously coming inside the bus and leaving the bus, so it is expected that passenger should stand in between the rows of seats. And relatively hard sitting, usually covered with durable trim materials. Maybe materials like rubber or PVC may be used to provide a little bit of comfort, but it is not at all comfortable. So due to short intervals, see, this is the reality. The intervals, the stops of these buses are very short, maybe 100 meters, 200 meters, every 300 meters the bus will be having a stop, and this bus will experience a local traffic. Such buses are provided with wide entrance because the people are literally rushing into the bus, and at the time of leaving the bus also you'll experiencing a crowd over there. So wide entrance and exit doors with low steps entry and exit platforms. Means the step entry, the height of these steps is also lowered, so that it will facilitate the proper entry and exit for the passengers. So these types of buses, see, this is the layout that we have seen. So these buses can be called as city bus. and these types of buses. See, you can observe this, the entry, it is a very, or ground clearance is very less at the entry part. The entry is lowered, the wide doors are used. We'll be having one door here and one door at the rear side. And now we'll turn toward the third bus. So now we have discussed the city or town bus is used for traveling up to 30 kilometers in cities. However, suburban bus is also used in cities where it can be used to travel for 40 kilometer distance, or suburban bus might be used to join or run in between a small cities or small towns which is of around 40 kilometers. So these buses are used for a distance of 40 kilometers. Should have reasonably comfortable sitting. See, as the distance is increased, obviously the suspension comfortability, sitting comfortability will little bit increase. About 38 persons with roof rack. Obviously, as the distance is increased, this luggage space should be provided. But as this distance is only 40 kilometers, only roof rack for hand luggage. Only there is a provision for hand luggage. And generally, small entry platforms with single doors. As I talked, this is used to join a small towns or small cities. Then single door is more enough, and even the stops are of larger distance. Means in city buses we have seen the bus may stop after 200 meters, 300 meters, every 300 meters. But here you will find the stops of around 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, etc. So in villages also, maybe in some villages also suburban buses can be used. Basically these types of buses we might have observed. These are the suburban buses. So luxury coach, so basically it is designed to run for longer distances, and the comfortability is a lot of considered here while designing these coaches. So luxury buses have very comfortable seats because the passengers have to travel for longer distances with under floor luggage space. So we have seen in suburban buses only the space is provided for hand luggage, but here the floor luggage space and roof rack, both the spaces are provided. Roof rack for hand luggage and floor luggage space for any heavy luggages. And then air conditioning, TV, VCR, music systems, etc. are provided in this coach, and hence it is called as luxury coach. And wide windows or additional windows up to the roof are used to improve visibility of the passengers. And now we'll turn toward the second part. Means according to shape also few buses can be classified. So classifications of buses based on the body shapes. Classic type, first type is classic type, then single deck, we have heard about this, double deck, and then two level single decker, third articulated buses. So we'll go one by one. What is classic type, what are these buses are, and what is the difference in between. So classic type, this is a conventional bus. Nowadays you will rarely find this bus. There is one important disadvantage as this bus is concerned. So engine is mounted in the front of the passenger compartment. So this is the disadvantage, which includes low ratio of spool length to overall. Means there is no any proper utilization of this bus length and poor aerodynamic shape. Then you will find presently not in much use except partially as school buses. You will find these types of buses are used. So this can be called as this classic type bus. The engine is mounted here, you can observe. See, the engine is mounted on this portion, and the reason this space is wasted. We do not utilize this space, and the driver's visibility is also reduced. If the driver is here, and if you see, driver could only see the targets beyond this portion. If anything is coming across in this portion, then definitely the drivers will not be able to see that space. And obviously we do not utilize this space, and this is the most disadvantage of this classic type bus. And nowadays only for school buses only these buses can be used. Single deck, whatever buses you have discussed till now, maybe city buses, suburban buses, town buses, all these buses are of single deck type, means we will be having single row of the seats. So in this type buses, engine is mounted either inside or below the driver's cab, may be mounted in between the bus or just below the driver cabin. So the part is not extruded, so there is a proper utilization of the space, enabling additional length available for more seats. So that is not possible with the help of this bus, classic type bus. So such buses may have one or more doors, so it depends. Few buses will be having one door, city buses are having two doors, whereas suburban buses are having one door. Many single deck models have seating capacity of 52, which in city buses is reduced to have more spaces for standing. This enables transportation. So again, in single deck the number of seats accommodated are different according to the application, whether it is city bus or suburban bus. And double deck, this bus is also rarely found in some cities or metros. These buses have rear mounted engines. See, this bus is having a different layout. Engine is mounted on the rear side and the drive is given to the rear wheels, which affords a front entry or good forward visibility for passengers. As the engine is not there, obviously we can utilize, even we can lower the height of the driver or the driver's seat, and obviously the visibility of the drivers will be improved. But obviously this is having a disadvantage that the proper air cooling will not be possible with the help of these buses. If the engine is mounted at the front, then the air, we can utilize the proper incoming air to cool the engine, so it is not possible. And such buses have passenger capacity of approximately 65 to 75. The passenger capacity is increased because we will be having double deck. It may be upper deck open for tourists. In some foreign countries we will find the upper deck is open for tourists especially. Double deck buses have poor stability than single decker buses. So the most important disadvantage in case of these double decker buses, we can only run these buses for a specific speed only, otherwise these buses may coming across the rollover case or the accident may happen. So we cannot increase the speed beyond certain limit in case of these double decker buses. This is why you can observe this. If this size type of bus is running at very high speed, then what will happen, you know that due to the side forces there is a possibility to rolling of this, or this may be rolled and the accident may happen. So these types of seatings is designed in cases of these double decker buses. And this is the last type, second last type, two level single decker bus. These type of buses are used as luxury coaches. These types of buses are also found in some cities. The layout provides good forward visibility, all passenger, good separate luggage space under floor. See this compartment is separately utilized for luggage compartment and for engine also. The engine in this cases also engine is mounted on the rear side because lot of space is available. Articulated buses. These buses are having maximum passenger capacity, maybe 80 or more than that. These are very large coaches for in-city operations. These are made of two parts because of the axle load limitations that we'll discuss. See, these are made of, this is the first part and this is second part. We cannot make it continuously as a one part. This is because if this is the situation, that there might be the possibility that this part will bend. So due to the axle limitations, we need to add a separate axle, and for the proper turning and proper stability of this bus, these types of articulations are added, and this is made up with the help of these two parts. And obviously due to this, the wheelbase of this bus is very large, and as a reason it can accommodate many number of passengers, 80 or more than that. So you can observe these types of buses are available in many foreign countries even, where this wheelbase is allowed. In some countries you will find that the length of the buses or the length of the heavy vehicles, trucks are limited to some extent only. So beyond that we cannot increase the length or manufacture the vehicles or use the vehicles which is having the larger wheelbase. So in those countries we cannot use articulated buses, but in some countries they are having the permission to use these types of articulated buses. So I hope you understand the bus body details, and in next lecture probably we'll be discussing about commercial vehicle body details.